oto ne nsa e de free Juventus se mo so momra na mo meka ho emra bia ne wo esi ye ho kwan se yeso yentimi mo ye competition
okay
UEFA no ya na yeteye ene ni aba be UEFA di yeso no ye betia boy competition ene mo start so mo pushi na UEFA do mo court na do mo fa na do mo yesei di UEFA for he de ekọ na so mo ye bibia e betia mama sa generate more money say the be Champions League no sika be sa be more
okay
ama na ye attractive to clubs no ene mo tena se wo design a format we
okay
nti eye afi UEFA Champions League na so lo mo ba bebo no
yeah
ame encheche osikasem no mu kakra bi
okay.
o de we kura se group stage ni kakra bi enu ana me yonkun centroni bi ewo enyiresi England na ye didi nkomo na ye didi Champions League sikasem hu nkomo solo tie team bia say na US ka UEFA for the ato mo be distribute ni o
okay
2.5 billion euros 2.5 billion euros.
Yeah.
Bon sa into wetin dey to screen so. So na omom TV no. So see TV phone wetin na Facebook.
TV betimi ahwe.
Okay.
Nana do boy o server room.
Okay. Afi say 36 teams.
Yes.
Meboa.
Aye.
Team bia waka 36 no no. So before ansakra no ye be keke ball kra wo competition no, or you entitled to 18.6 million euros.
Wow.
It be matter 36 teams ni nyina. Afi u win game ba ku bia 2.1 million euros. One game bia be win bia.
Okay.
Ubo draw so a solo 700,000 euros.
Okay.
Draw 700,000 euros. And no more additional payments depending on your performance. So tell me chance. Ti ye koyenim no mudu na cow stage a sika de mutwe ye koyenim but ni nyina ne se omotwa 2.5 billion euros.
Yes.
And they ato kane na ye 1.2 billion euros no me de bo competition no omo de 1.3 billion na solo omo de aba beka ho. So tell me chance. It's ebia clubs away England o man support to the Super League. Ebia clubs other clubs be say Germany say Bayern Munich mo man support to call France PSG o man support to. But the woman say obi na sorry no tigina say there be yentina ho ma UEFA fo nsisi na ye bo no ye na ye bo enye ya competition eni ho eno na pushi UEFA o maduru sei na anim say European Super League no ye de asem ne kopie mu o court no ene o madi nkunim o
amudi nkunim court
European court.
Yes, court no gbogu
EU court o madi nkunim
UEFA ni
it is say bibiji nwe
nyina so obi
obe hu anese o ma so start o mo bo mo competition.
Yes.
Na sika o ma yo madwe so mo pese mo generate from the European Super League no enye sika ketwa say ena ball no solo ese clubs e behave.
Okay.
So tell me chena say
Matias e pa
obi ye panyini na ye de dwumadie ne hye ne nsa na enkoye ewo sikasemu a omunti nyina omu make sure say obani pa no aye de ehia.
Yes.
Nipa no obeye de ehia say ofa efe no omu sikasem ye last season a mu se baby wo sika koya solo hu hia. The biggest commodity and a product of the FE the Ghana Premier League no.
Yes, GPL.
Ye hwe sika ekom tikiti bi nti solo kakra ewo ho no ene ye bedi ho enkomo nti enche mo the new format edema the UEFA Champions League no munim se de si etie no Solomon Carter be man base teams have been drawn na baby a obia no odi a chechim ti yiwasum na tie se the Champions League new format no esi etie na ye start competition na nya fe na akubusa se sei ene ye kobo competition no solo be cheche ni nyina mu ha ede akiremo ewo dwumadie eso. Any other stories koso ewo eyama no ne ye ba fia solo boss on say enra na mogbeyi abrante video.
Aye.
Fernando.
Yes, Fernando.
Ye Wisdom.
Wisdom Fernando.
Okay. Na ofa ba bia They say the here players are so on beba the Ghana Premier League nima. Ebe raise the standard of the league. Ebe man for any absabedi league nechi. Na se mo anya kura na yehu bi. Se bi se Fabio Gama.
Yes.
Oso kai.
Me kai pa.
Aha, eche yehu Mbela Mukwela mo. So tire me chena say.
Yakuba so buy balls no buy na league no.
No Yakuba ko beji ni din.
Abeji di ba so na yen sheda mo league na ne league pa dia.
But still na man for person Yakuba. Yes,
Sonny Yakuba.
Sonny Yakuba. Sonny Yakuba.
Yeah.
Akwa beji ni din.
Enye easy.
Kodoko Confederation Cup campaign.
Enye easy.
Sonny Yakuba.
One Fatao Safiu.
Yes, Fatao Safiu.
Ene
Mano Jemfi.
Jemfi ne the fan free Karela ya okọ. This one war Jerry lefty no.
Yeah.
Ya na mi refini din. Titi asa.
Oh, ayi.
There be onye left back or left
wing.
Left winger, yes. Nancy Kra.
Oh, me pe din di ama. Oni din wo mitimpa.
Omo ji omo din pa o.
There be on the ba.
So that time na.
Bona give me some.
Mano Conte.
Yes, Conte won.
Maxwell
Bakun.
Yes.
Born again to say Manuel Ba. Born again. Born again. Chade ma si Manuel Ba.
But that time no dey kotoko sika kono mu ma krumu ayedo.
Eti solo
match ba ku mi delay na me take ma me te as a
kotoba. Me amedi nkomo Nigeria.
Okay.
Na enyoma tutuma ye be ko Nigeria.
Okay.
Abrantie no solo Nana Kwesi Edifi magazine abasisi Nana Nana kwa anya magazine Nana te Ejoso side ho baby no di agro wo so amonse na busuafo wo so ame no sports no eno na odidi na no pa na wadi na wia na wadi na nwumre na solo makodi ne ho nkomo o akodi ne ho nkomo papa
ko ene ya na azenye
nsanjoni bi wo Nigeria fe ne China acheru
okay
nim se obekan na 2007 2008
okay
na Dolphins FC omni kotokosi akan Confederation Cup no
yeah
ono na ye kasamafo Edema Dolphins FC na mekobu sebisa no na zo Nigeria de yeso
pa
ye ya no se mentwen na okwakobusa player na siaba ono amu de na ninhyede ni nachi na okope onua achese onim abrantie ani din ede Fernando Wisdom
okay
na on the chat solo of forwarding ni nyina de mamen wie nams then that is good nti obenye obi amiene na di nkomo ni no abrantie ani din ede Fernando Wisdom I say the ball no etise bobo tise Mbappe ni Vinicius
yes
ebedi ne ho nkomo ewo show ni so Black Stars coach Utuado and the money squad for a AFCON qualifier on the game name you about 2 games
yes
Ghana any Angola and Ghana any Niger na odin sembebre na atudwa the squad no eda yanim wa hasei solo eda yanim e wa hasei ayene yahwefo ne atiefo ebewura squad nim na yahwese de si eko afi House of Folk toaso ewo Togo na ombebo mo last friendly game omni Togolese champions omdin de Asco Dikara ene de ebesi ani no susu no yebehwe se de has omahoboabo no eko ewo Togo se kwese da na kotokoso ni Vision FC ewo Cape Coast
yes
stadium ho nti no susu no yebehwe na ni nyina na yetimi edi ho enkomo nti Champions League solo ade a draw no ahyase no emu de wudi le ombekọ agyawo what me chana say nti simabe edu edi ani bon ye ne se omom TV de so benya sound
TV de ombenya ti say ye cheche mu ni ntrombe have visuals na ye
have visual no
na ye de cheche mu
kakra sound me hu ze bu phone gina ho ananya ono a no na ashe jacket kama
say chroma draw teams ni bi
hu have years eneti na fe Pepe Morata
yes
na so mo be gina ho de ama
on say Oma draw Inter Milan matches so
sa ama wi
Oma draw Man City so on say Inter a highlight teams na highlight Inter and Man City afrim nti say the Omo be draw ne de currently I think Bayern Munich yes nti yi Bayern Munich say na software no apiki 2 teams from pot 2 2 teams from pot 3, 2 teams from pot 4, any other 2 teams from pot 1 or na oma draw e de ama Bayern. Inti Bayern bebo 8 matches e wo group nim. 8 no e move 4 e be home. Ne move 4 aya away. First no nanka team bia bebo home and away. But say there teams and 9 a obebo fie na different from teams and 9 a obebo away. Sa no maye no. Ti ebi benya advantages, ebi su benya disadvantages. Because there are the obo fie no, wa ho den be osro. But so hu. Yes, into new format of the Champions League, you know.
You cry, you take a cry.
You bet me take a cry, yes. You bet me take a cry. We are. Okay. 6 teams. First, now 32, 36. Any idea omu nyina gu honum omu league format. Na 36 no bia ntimi mbone hunti no. Ya ene se maximum matches a obia betumi abo no 8 matches. 8 and obia betumi abo. Na 8 ne so no. First nka team ba ko bebo no home and away. Say so masesa no. 8 teams, different teams no bebo move 4 ewo home. No abo move 4 ewo away. Mr. Wampacho ati.
Say you home and away bi.
Derby.
Ba 40 dey chance say.
8 teams no.
Bebo 4 ewo home.
4
yes.
Bia benya 8 games.
Yes.
Tie.
Inti Inter Milan ba Anfield bebo wi a.
Derby Liverpool nko ho.
Yeah, nko no.
Derby. Also 4 matches abebo fi. And senti ni achemu no. And 2 advantage 4. What disadvantage? Advantage
me ba obi fi osisi ba no mesisi no. Na we answer say. It's a
Derby, hey, there's a new format I never quarrel.
Football almost try some be revolutionizing no. Omo ya na wasa back to
the almost say club will be our qualify for a few Champions League, you know.
Yeah.
36 teams.
36.
Ubia bebo 8 matches.
Ewo hono.
8 matches no ubia bebo no.
Yeah.
Yeni se one club a kubebo home and away.
Derby.
Identity.
8 matches no. Oh 4. I'll bebo no home.
Yes.
And I walk 4. I'll bebo no away.
Enti se me ko.
Enti nya botre.
Se se Madrid for beba Liverpool yi. Umi se Madrid for munum to. Ye betu nyuma yede go so sa ne ahye wo.
Sa na wo hye na. Ono Madrid so betena fi ama team bia bo ono so be de sa no ahye no.
No anya ayi banaba ho no se omutum no a ono so ye de na gu so na bi.
So ono so benya obi asisi no. Enti say I draw. Sa na so ye de gu Madrid so hye na. So be ko bia Inter. No so ye de da no ahye.
Konto fi agrodi na no ye call Italian team be na 2 ye call mbo ye no. No ma ko bo ye no ma.
Boss enti uzenchechemu simple enti enkane nanke o 6 match weeks and I say game weeks say be 8 enti instead say nanka group stages no last season end December no because of new format nti no ye bebo 8 matches na be wura January nti afi Champions League no 8 games na ye bo 4-4 no e be wura January ansane abo awie no msi obi abo ni 8 matches wi a a league format e be he omo points.
Edi Solomon yan hwa ha si.
Yes. Edoso.
Yan kɔ ne kakra ba fu nya botre. Sisi na wo join ya. Aha promise 102.7. Ba for yenya botre ni chichi.
Boss mo wadaro mi phone.
Okay. Atletico Madrid. Omo draw for the Champions League. Say ne si etie. Omo babo Leipzig. E home. No mabo Paris Saint-Germain. E away. Omo babo Bayer Leverkusen. E home. No mabo Benfica ewa away. Ombebo Lille ewo home. Salzburg ewa away. Slovan Bratislava ewo home. Ena afi Spartak Praha eno eya away. We Atletico Madrid omo games ombebo eno.
Atletico Madrid qualify.
Real Madrid tie. Real Madrid bebo Dortmund ewo home. No abo Liverpool ewa away. Bebo AC Milan ewo home. No abo Atlanta ewo away. Salzburg ewo home. No abo Lille ewo away. Stuttgart ewo home. No abo Brest so ewo away. We Real Madrid
Liverpool.
Inter Milan ade asa na woken
because of Anfield no come make nya
Inter Milan so opponents ni.
Yes.
Inter be share Leipzig ewo home omo first game. No mo kwa away to Manchester City.
Yes.
No mo bo home to Arsenal. Omo wi a no mo ko Bayer Leverkusen. Omo bo Leverkusen wi a no masa ba fie. normally rest abe grade abebo na afi omukọ young boys e wo Switzerland normal bo Monaco omu free France e wo home normal bo Spartak Praha e wo away Inter 8 games omu ebebo no Paris Saint-Germain omu games omu bebo ni we mu ye pot 1 for no
pot 1
omu first game omu ne Man City
yes
e wo home no mu Munich akobo against Bayern Munich afi omu be kutena fie normal bo against Atletico Madrid na omukọ Arsenal e wo away PSV e wo home normal boss omabo Salzburg e wo away Girona e wo home normal bo Stuttgart e wo away
yes
we PSG omususu 8 games omo ebebo then to Bafo West Liverpool
a handful of opponents left for Benfica. They've just found
Liverpool
out
first game
on and then it's Feyenoord at home.
Next game
away, Bologna at home, and Monaco right here.
Fabe 1 million Ghana cedis. So much as
you really say ya.
I feel now be qualify. Yes.
Okay.
We are
teacher solo ho.
You really say ya. First to 8. Also in the league system, into points accumulation to say about normal league. We are first to 8 automatic come round of 16. Afewa be di 9
first to 8 no tia say
position 1
teams ni nyina no
yes
position 1 group is no man say the
position 1 bafo tie
debut
e be fa mu nyina points amanya no
mwanya
na yi first 8 based on points
na me say say groups no maye no ene say no maye no position 1 for no be do so pa o
ada na be do so
na say Real Madrid obetima show obi a Barca obe show obi a
ebi goes be do so achieve ebi goes be do so achieve
Bayern na wo ka so be show obi a tie
oh debi
Bayern na wo ka so be show obi a no Bayern no owo game crabo against PSG
say no
Bayern no owo game ball against Barcelona
yes
Bafo ti asemi mewa Bayern ni Barcelona bo wi na Barcelona no obi fufu akokobo na Barcelona akosha na points aka no dia Barcelona no so Bayern me ntasi yo
Barcelona no so ne Dortmund no match
Manchester City next year we pot 1 for no
yeah
Man City so omo first game omo ni Inter Milan e wo home
yes
no makobo PSG e wo away
na Inter Milan ho abo
omo wi a no ma share bobo Inter de
ya bobo
Inter no makobo fufu
sie nya fofofo na
we dey net that on boss
omo ne Club Brugge akobo abo home na City kwa away to Juventus na for mabebo home against Feyenoord no mo kwa away to Sporting CP no mabebo home against Sporting Praha na fe omo last game away against Slovan Bratislava
so bet mo first 3 matches now yakase for nko na ebo bet mo first 3 matches now ntebe nko
enti boss said na me chim no boss said na me chim no
ba pot 2 for no amen ko pot 2 ye we pot 1
yes
pot 2 ni ye Leverkusen Atletico Madrid Atlanta Juventus Benfica Arsenal Club Brugge, Shakhtar Donetsk, and afi AC Milan. It took up for 2 na. Leverkusen first home game Inter Milan. Omubo wia ombeko away to Liverpool. Now for Mabo home against AC Milan. No Mako away against Atletico Madrid. No Mabo home against Salzburg. No Mako away against Feyenoord. Now for Masabo home against is it Sporting Zolo?
Yes, Sporting.
Sporting
CP.
Okay. Now, Omabo last game against Brest.
Yeah.
First 8 now, first 8 number around 16.
What's that?
First
8 qualify to round of 16.
Send in
Nruye. We are. Wa be 9 to 24. E ho ye 16 teams. Ne amamo playoff. And we home and away. We are now 8 from the playoffs and I first 8 and normal is 16. Debut say what league system
already kind oh group piano.
Debut group we bonus league.
Obi say
ye bonus league.
Ye microphone e bom no. Ye show me nyina na awia home and away and say home and away na.
Debut over 4 home no about 4 away.
But format and say club be our qualify for this season Champions League no. Ubebo 8 games. 8 games no, e move 4 home and a move 4 away with different teams.
Sembeni.
move 4 home and move 4 away.
Different teams
with different opponents.
So what the mention I say. Obisi men can tell say subscription boarding. It's more enjoy.
And I feel so TV rights Bob deal. And I feel
increasing the crowd. Bosumi ya increasing.
Oh, where they are. Maybe you to Nigeria, Antino. That means
it's about for drawn on air cost solo boss said they calculate say nyina
I said there be airport 2 area airport 3 for
2 see ya let's go Madrid there no
yeah
Juventus on Manchester City Manchester City that's their first home game no makobo Leipzig away no more abo Benfica home one is an adwene ahodo investors atwa hia but say osebo omobo ho eja de otia na
boss me visage say enye match week bia na team bi bebobo
Debi nya
match weeks ni bi wa teams ni bi betena fi omo mobo because omo ala omo opponent ni bi share yeah afi esi enyina ebo na ye league na manfo ni di akire na ba for say the nyom esi ka kono
se ejama
eye aginsem eye aginsem
but ye be ka kire omo say omo nyom no ma ye nsuso whilst ya ja tum say ye be boa ma league no ye promote o say me so o me these days foreign no ya na me nye keen about it but whilst ye ka say ye nyina be say ye boa na ye ma ye league no tum pon no omo league no omo hweso omo clubs no omo participating in the league no officiating officials are omo be part of the league no clubs and supporters no have or has a rule but have and has for now who have them
oh there be na ma
obi ni part to play to make sure say ye nya a better league who be yakono league and for so be baso league so person wo koton a wo betimi de akọ adwaman so akoton ama na free na aboa omo participate no enti whilst ye incentive for je tum say ye tu ehon si wo say ye pese ye boa ye Ghana league no ma ne tum kan ma ne kon kan e ma ne tum pon no we are also calling on the key stakeholders here. I'm talking about the Ghana Football Association. Here I'm talking about the referees omudi sa matches no. Here I'm talking about the clubs. Here I'm talking about the supporters of the various clubs no. Say almost a huge part to play to make sure say the enya hwe no abaso. So omo no basa no mo si no matiase. So omo no ma na omo anye ni here. Ye baba beka amoma hunu say ye ntimi nya adwuma hunu because ye ntimi ntina ham nyusu ya hoden enyusu energy enyusu everything in us to promote omo product. No omo no product no omo benefit directly from it no omo no to na jejemu. That one we will not do it. And ye catch na omo particularly the Ghana Football Association say ade na see what dreams between dreams FC and to you no never again should it ever happen in Ghana football. Now unim the man I say the Ghana Football Association president and 3 opportunities after that incident. 3 opportunities in public. He refused or failed to speak to this matter. He refused or failed to speak to it. Number 1, Oshia in Shamchofo was Sunyani. He didn't speak to it. Number 2, Samates Eko Africa he refused to speak to it. Congress. Number 3, there was an but to the for Congress, which is the major where all football people conglomerate. And then cafe there. As I said, continue registering the unhappiness about that incident. And one say it should never happen again in Ghana football. The Ghana Football Association president was mute about it. And I wonder why nobody is talking about it. We should ask the Ghana Football Association president why he was mute about that incident, or he has been mute. When there are 3 major opportunities that he has spoken in public. The Nikasia Paya, the football people, win. Kotoko. Nana Pinkane Koye. Nana Pinkane Kotina Congress grounds.
Tony Akuto.
Oyakoto ne koye. Nanka Nana Pinkrati ho. Nanka the FA president Amana who say he was not happy or he is not happy with that bad image now. The two clubs no selling Ghana football. But Ghana Football Association president was mute about it.
But for yenko Nigeria on na yenin komo kakra bi ewo ho yene yenwan centroni ewo eye Nigeria and edin ede eye Akila Matawa ono eye football writer ewo Nigeria yedin komo ede afa abrantie and edin ede Fernando Wisdom Sante Kotoko eye last day of the transfer and omo assign no yedin komo ede afa eye ne ho nti solo yene Akila eni enkomo ono ne be kirekire mu omo na hwe Nigerian league no de mu kan nyina no eye akaya ono de wadi na chiache
Akila
nti yene Akila edi enkomo nti ma Akila kwaba osolo
Akila, good evening and welcome to Promise 102.7 FM Promise Television.
Yeah, good evening to you. It's a pleasure to join you on the show.
Okay, I hope everything is fine. Hello, Akila.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Oh, okay, yes. Welcome once again. We called you this evening to talk about the new signing for Kumasi Asante Kotoko, Wisdom Fernando. You've watched him whilst he played in the Nigerian professional league, and then you've wrote a lot of stories about him. We want to know, can you provide us with a brief story, background on the player?
Well, this one who started from, let me say, from grass, started from the streets in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, playing in school, getting over with showing the talents that he has. Is a very fast winger, very pacey, skillful on the ball, can take on defenders. I think those are his major strengths. He doesn't score lots of goals, but he's a nightmare for defenders and can get attackers in good positions, getting them crosses to find the back of the net. And talking about how he started, yes, like I said, he started from a very humble beginning, just playing football for fun, was noticed in school, got to play for Akwa Starlets. At the time, it was the feeder team of Akwa United, but somehow they grew themselves and were able to get promotion to the Nigeria Premier Football League. That was back in 2019. But he had left the team at the time, was already a player of Akwa United, and he spent a larger part of his professional career with Akwa United. Was also a key member of the team that won the NPFL in 2021. He formed a very strong, front line, very deadly one with Fonudo at the time. Charles Ashimene, who was joint top scorer that season with 19 goals. Ubong Friday was also part of that team. And in the first part of that season, there was Ndifrek Efyong as well. So it was a very lethal attack at the time, and Wisdom Fernando played a key part in the final game of the season where the stadium was packed full and won the league back in 2021. 2 assists on the day. He's an amazing player. He's a fan favorite. The fans love him. It was disappointing to see him leave the team before the start of last season. He didn't play in the first stanza of the season. Joined Sporting Lagos in the second stanza. The team was struggling at the time. He didn't really make an impact as the team was relegated in the end. And towards the Abdullahi before was brought on board. But on the whole, he's a fantastic player. Just like I said, very fast, very skillful, can run defenders, can take on defenders, can bring good crosses into the box. He may not get you the goals himself, but for the moment he's on the pitch. And somehow, because of the doesn't really give you 90 minutes of competitive action. So he's mostly a player who starts games and is withdrawn around the 70th minute. Or if you want to probably, try to be modest in your attacking football, control the game, try to suck the pressure, you can unleash him in the second half, and you can. So fantastic player on his day, but consistency somehow has been his a major issues. But if he hits the ground running, he's a player who can set the Ghanaian league ablaze.
Oh, okay, Akila. I was going to come to that, his strengths and weaknesses, but I think you've given us a lot of his strengths and some of his weaknesses. I don't know. You made mention of him not giving you a lot of goals, and then he might not guarantee you 90 minutes of football action in every game. Are there other weaknesses that can be attributed to Fernando Wisdom aside the two you mentioned? You talked about his strengths and some of his weaknesses.
Well, I think for every player who is fast, for every player who is pacey, you can talk about them. They tend to fizzle out at a point. And if a game and you dominate possession, those kind of players will move out at a point during the game, and that's one of the things about him. It's not to discredit what he does. I don't think he has any other weaknesses on the pitch apart from those. In fact, if given the right instructions, I've seen him in games where even as an attacker, he gets to fight for the ball to win it for the team. He marks as well as part of his responsibilities. So because of all of those duties that he combines, somehow he may not play for the entirety of 90 minutes. But I think those are majorly his weaknesses. He may not last the full 90 in a high-intensity game. I'm not saying that he's not played 90 minutes of football. He has played in so many games where he lasted the entire duration of the game. But when the game is so intense, where he does so much work, you may just naturally want to pull him out. But that is not to say that he cannot stay on the pitch for 90 minutes. But if you feel he can still be on the pitch and you want to operate on a counter where he can, try to get into spaces when the team is counter-attacking, fine and good. So I think those are majorly his weaknesses. He may not last 90 minutes. He may not get you goals. And maybe it's because of how he plays. He doesn't really hover around the box. He wants to drop deep. He wants to get the ball. He wants to run at defenders and create chances for the attackers. That's how he plays. So hopefully, maybe if he gets, another orientation that, hey man, you're also an attacker. You can go into the box. You can hover around and try to get goals. Fine and good. But if you're playing for a team that has very prolific attackers, that's the player that you need to create the chances for them and give them the supplies that they need.
Okay. The player in his first interview said that his style of play can be likened to that of Mbappe or Vinicius Jr. in Real Madrid. We haven't watched him. You have watched him. Is it really so, like the player himself said about his style of play?
I think he's right. Both players are pacey. Mbappe and Vinicius, very pacey player, and he does magic with the ball. That must be said. Wisdom Fernando on his day, can disgrace defenders because he's got the pace and he's got very fast moves.
Okay.
He steps away.
Okay. Hello, Akila. Hello. Okay. Yebehwe na ya sign a connect Akila ewo line. So etie for yen kai mo say ye ne Akila or yen central for ewo Nigeria. Ye ne no or yen central ni wo Nigeria ne no edidi nkomo de afa kotoko new signing Fernando Wisdom Basi. Ono de wa share Fernando so many years ewo Nigeria professional league nim na oni edin nkomo de fa player ne ho. Ye busa no about player no said usina kan na or catcher say o ye pacey na o speed o take you on defenders o betimi ama defenders
o ye no ti ni nyina
o mete ni nyina.
Okay,
yes. Now on said the first question me ebusane say o ma a brief history and I say brief way about player na ye can ne ho asem no. Yes.
Akila, you're back on the line.
Yes,
so
yes. Akila, welcome back. So we're still on the style of play of Fernando Wisdom. Yes. He rightly said that he likens his style of play to that of Mbappe or Vinicius. So you were still on that question.
Yeah, like I said, I think he's similar to them in terms of the way they play. They are very fast players. They can take on defenders from the wings. They can, show you those skills. They can, do some nutmegs. They can do step overs. Fernando is known for step-overs. He does them really well. You know, he's somehow unpredictable with wants to move, he breaks play, the defender gets away from the way. So he does many things with the ball, he does magic with the ball, and he's not exaggerating when he says he likens it on Mbappe, but I think it's still a long way coming for him. Like I said, he's a player who is very good, but consistency somehow hasn't been really there. He can be on fire this season, the next season he drops it a bit. And you know, sometimes when he has very stiff competition, you may knock him off. But I think he's been a player who consistently, you know, season in, season out, in some games you will see that he still has it. He can still deliver and all of that. So I think wherever he goes, if he gets the game time, if he gets the right connection with the players who are already there, if he gets that environment to flourish, if he gets everything that he needs, I think he can excel in the Ghanaian league. I'm not saying that because he's someone I know and I've watched him for the past few years, but he's a player with great potential, and I tell you, he's not even achieved what he should have achieved. If he had put everything into practice, if he had been more consistent, he had tried, you know, he had had offers abroad, it didn't work out. He went to Turkey at a point, he was on the verge of signing a deal or so, or something happened. And I think it was the day before he returned, or the day after he returned, that we had the earthquake in Turkey that claimed one of the finest players to have come out of Africa, or Christian Achu from Ghana, and a host of others. So I think he's had some roller coasters, he's gone abroad, things didn't work out, he came back and all of that. But a player of his quality shouldn't still be playing in the Nigeria Premier Football League as of last season. A player of his quality should not be playing in the maybe in this kind of leagues. He should be in maybe South Africa playing for Sundowns, or maybe Pirates, or maybe in Egypt playing for Al Ahly and the rest, because he's a bunch of talent, but he has not been able to maximize his talents to the fullest. And I hope that he does so at Kumasi Asante Kotoko.
Okay. Akila, that takes me to the next question. You've talked about his style of play. What was his general performance in the Nigerian Premier League? Does he have any standout achievements within the years he played in the Nigerian League?
I had mentioned that from the start. He's a Nigeria Premier Football League winner. He won the league with Akwa United in 2021. He was a key member of that team, and that team fondly is remembered for going 18 games unbeaten in the Nigeria Premier Football League. It's one of the longest streaks that we've had, and Fernando was at the heart of that. He was very key in that attack that had Infonodo at the time, that had Charles Ashimene, joint top scorer in the league that season, that is in 2021. And he was that player who was doing most of the work alongside Ike Chukwuwani at the time, you know, feeding all of these other point men in Infonodo and Charles Ashimene to get the goals for Akwa United. So he's won the league, Nigeria. He was won the Nigeria Premier Football League 2021 with Akwa United. He's also been a part of the team. I think he was part of the team as well in 2017 when they won the Federation Cup at the time. That is the FA Cup here in Nigeria. He has played on the continent. He's played in the CAF Champions League as well with Akwa United. He's played in the CAF Confederation Cup. So I think he's achieved by his own standards. He's had some achievements, and winning the league in 2021 is the biggest of them.
Okay, that's quite impressive. What about him playing for the various national teams in Nigeria, the under 17, 20, 23, and the national team? Has he had any stints with the national teams in Nigeria?
He has played at under 17 level. He has played there in the past. I think that was around 2016, 2017 or so. In his very, very early days playing professional football after moving over from Akwa Starlets to Akwa United. But he's not gotten call-ups to probably the Super Eagles or so, but he's had that national team experience, and that was part of the reasons why he was, you know, given that contract at Akwa United and had to stay for that number of years. Throughout his stay in the Nigeria Premier Football League, he was a player of Akwa United until this past season where he moved to Sporting Lagos. So he has had the same platform for years. He was a player who was one of those that the team built its play around, because when you have those kind of players who are consistently with the team, you understand how the team plays, you know the demands of the team, and when it peaked for them in 2021, they won the league. So he's not shy of experience. National team football, he's seen it, even though he's not played for the senior national team.
Okay. One thing that has also generated a lot of conversation about the player is his age. Yes, we have conflicting reports, yes, or details about his age. Some say he's 22, others say he's 28. Even on the Aqua United platform, yes, we have 28 as his age, but he uses 22, signing for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Can you give us clarification with regards to the age of Fernando?
Well, I don't think I have any clarifications, but I feel that 22, maybe it's not ideal, because for a player who has been in the league for, I think, around 7-8 years, and had played in the lower tier of Nigerian football with Aqua Starlets for like 2 seasons, or plus or minus, I think 22 doesn't look like the age that should be at the moment. Maybe there's a mix-up somewhere. Things can be on the internet that may not have really been verified. There are many people who do pages for players, and there are people who might, do them to their advantage or whatever, or if there was any sort of a mix-up somewhere. But yes, controversies are always there, especially in Africa. We always have those controversies. But I cannot rightly say what the real age is. But of course, in every conflicting situations, there's one truth, and there cannot be only one age of him. He's someone I'm in contact with. Maybe I'll try to get information from him as to the clarification, because it's not good for someone who is just making a move. There's so much promise around you. There's so much anticipation from the fans, and then controversies begin to crop in. So if you're not really strong at heart, it might affect you psychologically, and you may not be able to deliver at your optimum. I hope that the truth somehow prevails and it comes forth. I'll try to make that findings. I cannot rightly at this point say that this is a Wisdom Fernando's age. And here in Africa, we're not too good with data, because if we're very, very good with data from the start of the player's professional career, it's there. Maybe he has played for this age grade team, he's played for the under 12, he's played for the under 15, he's played for the under 17, and has now signed a professional contract, maybe at the age of 17. From that time on, if you have all of those stresses, you cannot, toy around with someone's age, or falsehood comes into play. So I think it's really a thing in Africa. These things get to continue to happen. I hope that we're able to tighten the loose ends and keep hold of players' ages from the start of their career, so that tomorrow someone doesn't wake up and say, I am now 22. Someone who was maybe 25, someone who is already, 28, but because he wants a bigger move abroad or somewhere, he feels that it's something that you can do, water down on the age so that you can get a big money move abroad, because teams in Europe, teams in Asia, and the rest will.
Okay.
Except maybe you're a goalkeeper, teams will always want players who are younger, teams they can invest in and reap the fruits and the dividends for years and years to come.
Okay. But since you have other engagements, I would like to ask the last question. How well do you think, in your own opinion, do you think Fernando can adapt to the Ghana Premier League, or do you feel there are some challenges that he may encounter?
Well, I don't think the Ghanaian League is maybe too different from the Nigeria Premier Football League. It's still the same, energy game. It's still the same tough environment. Not too good pitches. Truth be told, we don't have too many good pitches right there in the league. And there are maybe a few that are good. Nigeria too doesn't have the best of pitches, even though maybe a few better pitches since international tournaments are held here somehow. But I feel that if he gets, there are ifs always. When a player moves somewhere, the first thing is, if the players, the teammates are welcoming, if there's harmony in the team, if the coaches trust in his ability to deliver and give him that that platform and the motivation, he's a player that should excel in the Ghanaian league. I'm trusting that he does deliver, but it will depend on how the team, accommodates him. It will depend on how he's being trusted by the team, and it will also boil down to his own self-motivation. This is a new environment for me. It's a new arena. I've come here with a name. I'm a league winner in Nigeria. Let me get down here and try to make things happen. Asante Kotoko recently have not been doing too well. We've seen other teams crop up, Samatex, Dreams FC doing well on the continent. So I think they want their glory days back. And this is one player that they've trusted to bring on. Hopefully he delivers for them and their fans get smiling again. Because their stadium is always packed full in moments that I see the Babayara Sports Stadium. So we are hopeful that he brings joy to the supporters. And I'm wishing and hoping that he succeeds at the club.
Oh, okay, Akila. Thank you very much for your time this evening. Since you have other engagements, we would like to end the conversation here. Thank you once again for your time with us on 102.7 Promise Radio.
Yeah. My pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, boss.
Tusolo,
boss.
Obi a wanya opportunity. Ehu abranti and the Fernando Wisdom.
Yeah.
If we na shasiye, ebepim baby a wodroi. So onene nyina wo the same state. The same state and onene nyina wo.
Oyo state.
Yepo obi a obetimi a church ne bobo mu ya. Ene se di ositi a. Na se yeko Oyo state. Na yeko pensentro ni wo ho. Eno na de yeko pia Akila wa chechire mu. Otie ne nsem ni nyina ne tofabo ene se se ye kan de a ye fe ne se talent adoma chede anyankopon de che wo bia na abrantia ne din ede eye Fernando Wisdom no nyankopon ache na adoma chede bobo achede no ade a wache ne bi na osi so no na ni da so ho pa so osi so no na wo hwe ne bo na wo bo ne se de ositie na eni da so e wo mo se me microphone na ye same check ma me we ana ido ye ya no mo de Facebook for no solo ene check ma me we solo na de ne sa boss no edema na okay same enti wase body abranti ni bo wase afi omoje league no that was 2019-2020.
Yeah.
Okay. One emranti mienu ose ba ko ye Charles no say Charles dey momudin no Dezemio said dey also na ye top scorer that season so 19 goals.
Yeah.
Na goals a abranti ne share no dodo na no Fernando and ye say adwuma no also mo front three ne dey na yemfani agro
no betamwa
but adie ba ko a
they say don't belly the attack
Fernando e dia fantente no a trasim abetamo de ne tiaje wapim ehye sura
babo so say okan say kotoko e wo attacker o very good at
scoring na
yes obemana she goes pa
and now o say anka say de ne bobo ni sitie no eni ne baby ogina na yesen kwa trasa na o kai se mre bi kura no okọ eye Turkey na dana o free ho na de chinye na sa Turkey eye earthquake no esiye I lose one of the great African players African football producer eye ya enua Christian Achu na ono de o hwa brantie na still ball no onimbo na enyoma kitinkiti bi which ono wanka no to aso say ba for utie o say abrantie ne ball no enya about stamina on say we players bi o ha o kai Robert Saba
yes pa
no mo finish 60 minutes say Robert Saba ball na from the first minute to 60 minutes pa go be entimi no by we 60 minutes na no o say abrantie ni modern ball no e kwa akopim be 70 minutes and no chance we need stamina but e bia na concentration the last
on say omo run ankasa no say oyo e bia say okoba sa na edu bia you drop down kakra so ho enti enye wanwa won say e ba ne sa no a enche say Ontimo ball ni be move, but we need the same energy no the start here no. And feel when a game management.
My boss made the on say the strength and weaknesses ne idea made ma fa bom koto dwema me de ko.
Idea say can check to coach.
About strength and weaknesses. Or say oye pacey, o speed, obetimi atwetwe defenders, or my defenders bre onima assist here. And no any strength but the weaknesses they also on she goes be and na on to me more 90 minutes they be number 2 boy
say or say the biggest challenge to his game consistency nti ABN ne bones and modern bono was super maybe ochina na say the osi hu na nura no wa me hu ne
na say emfa say in a game that he offers so much in terms of running down the lines and all that. Now say the next or burn a lot of energy. The next game no, especially under the sun. But all this can be managed. So technical team no.
Oh yes.
It decided to pay attention to.
Yes.
The weakness and the strength now. So all this can be managed in a way that at least say 70 minutes player.
Yeah.
Probably above 60 minutes. You say that he conserves a bit of the energy so that the next match, you know, will be 15 minutes and I say, yeah.
But say we no cry no hill. Player will bet me about 70 minutes, you know. So a very efficient or say effective. Within 70, now they also want the money now. One more assist be me no me and Sebi ne bia or go back bia. It should be okay for a winger. You know, they here so be efficient on the field of play. Not very effective. So we don't until minutes no. So I used to know nana prank circles ni meeting na ba na wi ye. Very ama friend twem kakra bi say we see afanu ni mienu. Obi afa nipa mienu mra. Na ebe yi ohene pon kese ba ko. Na ono a che ye committee no. Na afa omode ye committee na menhia form ye no a report no idea adwuma nti afenu ba ko no eyomom koye complain no omdo masem ko to panyifo anim no ashantere one advice to Alex
advice ni refi ni but I know say advice na ka committee no
one ya mensa okay yeah nti omdo other part no ayeko report of which the current NCC no there be outgoing NCC and outgoing NCC
current
the German
that's how we mandate they are there because Nana decided to extend a year
almost say chairman Christopher da manyantimi amenhie mo ne bi ntom so mo do mo nsem nyina no mo kwa akobɔ na mane na afo so mo nsem mo wo no na mo de aba
mo ho no mate se twumbeye a member of the two people no
na botemi enum ne sisi e okay Over Kakabi on Fernando Wisdom.
Now can't be a count. Yes, you won't elections before the first match to play at Babara. And
Tinina would depend on
no, but a committee never decided that has been already told the committee. How would they see to it that the election is done before the first match?
How would they ever solve the problems? When
how would they do the elections?
Nana Pinkaka Chom say
when they organize election
committee na committee then two from here two from here
until say
we say nyadia we be campaign because one year campaign we that was say that the elections must
be forms
be
election a process
ni nyina no eka ho and one that is a 2 weeks
2 weeks na so they be solve issues
before Kotoko play it's first match at Babaya.
Okay, 3 weeks no.
One committee ohui report no mubenya from a committee na menhiate no because committee we entimi nye bibi different from the committee menhia for me because the committee menhia for me no is bigger than this committee.
Say the recommendation on
what the mention say it based on the menhia committee report but for omoye no and no na committee we su begina so no ma hwe no mo dey organize
the recommendation of that committee no and this committee is coming to implement but ni nyina mu no ya mo say omo fa ni nyina nya adwuma by before Kotoko play its first match at Babayala, the election has been done. Simple.
I mean, you wake a crab in a young few.
Oh, yes. That is my beautiful
circus and seminar. Circus and seminar. Obi the suggestions biaba. Now me go through no. Me be see any tea for near her fortune. Suggestion na okay. Eti ye baby bi kakra bi on the show. Nyabo tray.
Me darling na betra ho no.
Nyabo tray. Etiefo amutie ene yahwefo. Enti me so Promise Radio.
Me bato mo
ye be yes small exercise. Na fe ye ba na ya ba beto aso we kakra. Ye we programs manager wa ha. Maame efie nya manager sorry.
Emu bi afa.
Ni nyina afa. Ye say bofo ye be say be program ref. Maame efie nya ko e wo efie ha. Efie akwa ba.
Yanya.
Bibi aboko de.
Ori aboko.
Na de na do be pio nwumre yi. Sports yu de nkenten hu.
Yeni aba Bernardine. Mami Brago. Ene ye ne birthday. Inti ye wa ha ne yenya surprise cake bi.
Efo.
Efepa nti ye bi twa.
Okay. Na obi a wo akiri a wo ti ana hwe Bernardine ye hwan?
Client service and deputy client service executive.
There's a room on a rare advert, a radio, Sunni TV, so Mona chess, Nessie Bomb. I say, section 30th. Nabusumiaso. I dare about Mr. Ajmai. From there, you be a Pie FM. A promise a BC, and they say, a dream I could triumph on 30 of that. And idea
Mama can't do
Mr. Ajimane na yire mama emi abasobode esi ebo mu bi na ni nyina no adwuma ye start ye na ye ono a kire a ye toto nyoma ye na sikasem bibia akọ kama sikasem no so bekoyi a ebi mu na tia no na omobo ama ni nyina akoyi mama ya ohuni adwuma ma ye sikasem mo tutu ye sikasem ema nyoma akọ kama oni edi akire omo na ye sade nti ena ye special occasion edema Promise Media or Pie FM or TV and Promise FM and afi Promise TV ye nua baba akope
mama akosi abra
adwuma ma menimo bia beka so ne Bernardine wo problem there's a one pa ko no ye problem
o ka no credit
o say me hui
wo to hu ya
me hui gise bia wo kire me
da bia no ata hu dia
and the way I was so no obi a relate to adwuma ma ade a chese edamu sunko afi ko ese abo abaso na hu
said was there the knife no red alert
nyame enshow na oma nkwa tenten na nimdi odi ama no ade achi ade se bia no mfa bi enka ho enfa ma amen ti mejina workers ni nyina na mu na ya we so happy birthday wadwuma wo ye de edamu sunko senka adwuma ho nko ana nke ye hwede market a Mr. Adima Manakatua and tumu be 200%.
Amen.
Kama. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bernadette. Happy birthday to you. May God bless you now. May God bless you now. May God bless you now.
Hip, your boyfriend. Who is your boyfriend? Who is your boyfriend? Who is your boyfriend?
He is her boyfriend.
Okay, you check cake in my na into a champagne na fe. Ya enuaba Bernardine na ene nyame ede afe baako aka nimfie ho enti yenko yetwemo
nyame aja oba
Na tibo ade ba ko ne say. Me nua be nya nna na me hu. Ma ya so fa the boy nsem.
The boy ani.
Eno ni asem ha mi. Tibo sa no ma me sire mo.
The boy na ani ediji mi.
De wo ye. E ma me ka asem bia yisua, esi wa asafo. Abayo bi sisu na no ho ofepa. Na ya na mrantie kufio. Papa bi ya no de akonwa betena ni mo. Timnante ni bro no obusa wo hwe wan. Oso mi hwe akosua. Akosua, ompe me masem o. Ompe me masem ba ko akoti. Okokura wo mfi. Se na papa na de a.
De o ba na maka no.
Eti ya da munyina ase. Se ke kiri e chama fiafo nyina. Na se me check your workers no. Say 207 o. To bi abenya
Jibo.
Yeah, Bernardine.
Mefa akonya iso de nase ama. Ejumawura ene ne yere, ene staff manager Mr. Otue Champon. Ene other managers ni staff ni nyina me de ase da bema obia. Ewo said the omasi ni me at the fie hanom fe. Me da omu nyina ase.
Ernesto, and a visa question. There's almost a month faster to busa number. Okay, 80 PM. Okay, eti mbafo momre yewe Bernardine ye fa kakra bi nsoso na
on the hills of Benedine birthday na me fa papa sofo so dey nsoso preku bishop
de Germany that's sofo dey anopa na bubu
oh enti me fa we ngum na fa ye bi say na no pa na
make stories nbo ne fa kakra
MC Afro no Mother Roma gentleman no podi na friend say me enti no omfa bishop entuso mame na ene ye
Bishop
Daniel Obinim
okay
Bishop Daniel Obinim ene ye na woda kese pa nyame e de afe ba ko aka eye papa nimfie ho
all right
enti
baba happy birthday
say wonim no
yes he was a footballer no bobo
yes no nimbo basa
mini pa bobo na
me say me say atem na mo kuma yakra enti na no
o David ata kona nin kan
sir
yes 90s more
90s
yes
90s but
that time na bopa
wo ho no
gina so den no so na won hwe bopa ntina
bopa tama sa atem na wo bo swami no ba ntuma jo no ko botafo ne ade no yes no nimbo bopa enti special
baba ma make kan bom na ayi baby a obi apese ofa no na Black Stars so your squad for your 2 AFCON qualifiers Niger and afi Angola de ne dikan ochina ne na wotwe so na sa game ne ba so Ghana ene Angola de ACN na ne na nansachi na afi ne Niger so abo goalkeepers ne ye Lawrence Atizigi afi Joseph Walacott and Freddy Kasare ono kwani local player obo local league no PMU ebi from Asante Kotoko defenders ne Ali Dusedu Tarek Lamte Alexander Jiku Abdul Mumin Mohamed Salisu Jerome Opoku Ebenezer Anan ena Afi Kingsley Schindler no so ewo Teki Midfielders ne Mohamed Kudus Ebu Francis Thomas Partey Elisha Owusu ena Afi Majid Ashimeru forwards no Abdul Fattah Ishaku Joseph Pencil Ibrahim Osman Antoine Semenyo Inaki Williams Brandon Thomas Asante and afi Jordan Ayew we ene forwards a omusu coach Utuado atonensa e dey from to any players a e dey kwakohia Angola ene Niger AFCON 2025 ebekoso ewo Morocco ba for mamefa kakra we enka ho bi suggestion de buy on abato no
okay
say e di kan kasa house of folks so nyame ya adoma omo last friendly game on bebo no omo ene Togolese champions Asko Dikara ene bebo ansa no mudo mani abepiem mudo mani a kire Ghana no mabeto ma ho babo aso e de abo mo first league game a omo ebebo ewo the 2024-2025 Ghana Premier League. But for where message if free Chris Ben Daniels or UK.
Okay.
Na ade we wan hwe na yentimi nwie ba ma memo so na wo china china na yeba na yaba discuss me bosu kakra bi on circles ntokwa ene Matthew account ene Asante God supporters ni bebre no e ka say affect o no say o solution bi anaso wa adwenkyere ma men kan sa na adwenkyere nyina ne say ene fabu census ya bai about for amount for register contribute to the club no say we mu ye dedicated supporters omo ye ready say omo kakra omo be contribute to the club enti ono de enko besre e de atom panyifo anim say obi bia o ye registered member of Asante Kotoko Fabu census no aye hunu so ye chitani a otua bibi de bo team no aden na ke dissolve circles no na ye for registered members of the Fabu census na yenye ne say uya Kotoko chitani na we register to the Fabu census etua odusa ye be ma akonya na bia empanyifo aba so mo pray for chairmanship so be pray eno de Kotoko chairman and Kotoko supporters. But before I be qualify as a supporter no, just say what register to the Fabu census. I feel who say tria reduce. Ni amasa supporters yi akwakoto aba. Nti ye to aba wi a de ebe yi no de obenya madodo no aba be Kotoko chairman.
Supporters chairman.
Yes, supporters chairman.
And the club chairman.
Kotoko supporters chairman. Yes, supporters chairman.
And the one that organizes how dey no.
Ni nyina na say ofu se menhia betim ni nyina.
Say ni nyina na organizer e.
And e betimi kwa dey share management nsa. No ma hwe no ma yes ade ni nyina. Ebe ma o say ebe ma
na e na good circles no.
Say Kotoko because o say Fabu census ne
ba. Na say yeah Manchester United Trust ho. Yeah Liverpool ne we be and the supporters the recognized and known supporters for clubs no they are always there. But menene ya adwen say these ones that are looking say ombeso mu be di that recognized supporters group name and no one say you to me pick these people no you should be somebody who is a contributor to the Fabu census. That one I agree with.
And no ka say it's like the Benfica way
Fabu census.
Yes, the Benfica way, the Barcelona way, the Real Madrid way. I am from associates no e o mo mutua dues.
Yes,
and o mutua sika to the club o mo there was even opportunity to choose president of the club, but had a different because Kotoko already has an owner. Yeah, opim so so to the mention say by supporters there say Fabu census you be e buy enya circle for nkwa ne twia dodo ne kra yo mo nya circles for
ye nkofu bi ho mo nche danye directly
so to the mention say iti ade ne enya ne say ye be bia akonya na to but omo mbetimi akoto aba ne bia yi chairman no eye wa register to the Fabu census a wutua obosumi aketua
and out of a honey be you
out of a hono and ye be you no be lead supporters no nyame yad mo china ba for
akonya mo ye
be sa topic ese ye hwepa ober kakra bi na ye na watie Wisdom Blasters and has and Asco di Cara so give.
Well, I think another has playing against a club or participating or Champions League will not be a bad idea. The champions of Togo, one in a bar, Jibo, it will be a nice exercise. Pre-season results normally, and we are for confidence. But what minya match be like Togolese champion, or be exposed to some weaknesses in your team. Coach, you have almost a week to work on those weaknesses before you play your first league game, and this will be something about what how to focus. Your pre-season, the Jibo Yankoboma. Aye trimunya de eso hun tokru I say esri no e show send you be tutu and tokru dan sana ababebo a first league game, so that will be a lovely one for her to focus. Frederick Asari getting a call up the Blasters itself and so china beti enya abotra for individual players and really diagnose them and look at the tax ahead of Ghana whether these players can get the job done for the Blasters. But on Wisdom, I still stand by it. This is a player that Asante Kotoko fans should manage their expectations. Me believe we say adaptation, it take time. So you manage your expectation of a ban. Kakrebi or baby and you'll be amazed by it. But easy ban too much, no, but 1, 2, 3 games, no to me hit the ground running. Maybe the assets, no, the strength, no, won't mean deliver no park and the swat. That is where those negative reactions will come in. But if the expectation is managed, again, when it comes to how Ogun, players, new players into the team, now our time no nyani ye kakra. But last season, I don't know whether it was pressure. I saw Warme who throw new players no Eddie Omure Muntem. O check Ziggy. Ziggy started Kotko first game. Change Amana similar. But these were all players that they were normally later, or me players on my arrival late. That was the Kotko team. Purposeful preseason or more yet. I meant to me and Sally show no. Oh, bye no. And you're very difficult for these players. Someone like Ziggy, someone like even Abranti friend Michael Chejamana. Was the deal last year as a new player, someone for instance, someone about the first game. Someone to me and set the stage ablaze. Also when your issues kakra. But was the deal warm babaya in people were complaining, my babaya ambu. Eventually time my babaya jiran and also no achi baby aboso. Okay. It's someone like giving Peter Amidu. Was a Peter Sono. Nay slow one started, but time a Peter would have no ajaba. So Ogum should also warm him gradually.
Exactly. Because of the time.
Plus the UEFA Champions League. Because as a draw, no, the nature of the draw, no, the understanding, no. No, and yes, so fast, but people don't normally ask them confront said and take draw na same.
So boss, yes, my boss OP wallpapers. At the 3D wallpapers. Okay.
0536161661 6070201941461.
Okay. OP wallpapers at the 3D wallpapers. Ne demo CC nema abe drama. So call ne kwajo de na dem enye fe a doom PZ na fe chronom barrier 0540353750. Perfect skin and body therapy. Skin no beto so na body no aye kama aye perfect skin. Asuye Kumase Bushen Abraham Junction Osu Akwaje Park ewo Accra and Ketan Junction ewo Takra de 0553312911 Amuzu garlic bitters wunum binani pediano SCPSita ejina brane na bibia akokama ewo ni pedua ni maye Amuzu garlic bitters ko ba bi etono ne koto ode 0247 7767 43 and afe Bosheba electricals and so for sebra nebejin kania and cable papa free na say ni nyina wo bi ewa ha ne bo no enso ewo from epa 03220303838 na ne Bosheba electricals and so atwetwen komo na bibia akoyi e de ama boss na de tel yes Faith Dachi Hima season 2 and also Eguso Ekoso *920 *55 hash. Now the contestant code aka tumana na wache solo all competition him no etimi enyantino boss.
Yanko line so. Okay. Udin baby akase Fernando asema to aso. Hello. Eba cho Udin baby akase Fernando asema to aso. Okay, o se me pacho yeti o.
Ayo da pa na pa ai ko mo fa apelzemo o pa be la kai
o se online no nyekura o. Okay, so same yento aso Udin baby akase Fernando asema to aso.
Oh, me pa so from me na na pe from kase free play mai.
Na number cho yeti o.
Wa hene me da ma se em se secretary asema mo kan secretary na se. Secretary di sem wo mu gunu se be haye. Wo mu yen secretary no ma secretary ni kikoda ye so me be haye pa.
Okay. All right, nana yeda say
yes dem pa because wo mu boa. Wo mu boa nti se mo ma ne koda be haye. Nti wo mu ma secretary na nyidem.
Okay, yeda say yento aso. Udin ba bi akasa Fernando asema to aso.
Hello.
Yes sir.
Good evening.
Evening, oh.
I'm Patrick Freddo Kwame Dankwa. We're going to Kwame Semki. Because you're free across you.
Okay, Kwame Yetiu.
Not Kwame,
yes, you does it.
Now, go to and Jabam, at my execution, and not from the Canada. The country, I feel over the college, inshallah yami aduma.
Okay, yada say ye twaso e de amamo Udin baby akase Fernando asema twaso. Okay. Wantimi enyina so yen hwede ono edi so e. Udin baby akase Fernando asema twaso.
Because I speak of committee.
Okay, me pacho yetiu.
Yes, I'm Adolfo Asa.
Adolfo mpacho ekwanda ho yenko.
Me pacho o cameraman catch and say the radio mestre no I understand me man say you share background. We say a man for AP na omu mu a. Na washa me.
We if any freestyle on say they say na radio studio nti ha obi producer se ko no with information ba. Eti ni nyina na ka won ema yi ne ye nti. Why?
But say ana washa me kakana. Ana dey ba kon so say me ekotokoni me ekotoko supporter. But the American say for the Kasari me match business na I don't know me say local leagues no me so ko black sky me the yom ko won say ya na attention e to mu so say obi ntumi hu omo ko ba na afi no mu games na flop omo ko ba na afi no mu games na flop hu nti ya na coaches no ne e kan say we goalkeeper trainers ya mo hwe ho man mo improve mo yi da be ya mo man CS ne yakase mo.
All right, yeah, that's it. Adolfo yemfa de odi ho odin ba bi akase Fernando asema to aso.
Jibo kuribi.
Nana mensen shira.
Nana mensen shira kotoko obu ase.
Yenko.
Cha kwanza fanya why. Mwanzo za sababu kumso cha mami. Cha benda fanya mami kotoko mweje ye. Afuwe. Baba ya baba de se.
Martinana say Nana Mensa Enshira Udin baby akase Fernando asema to aso.
Hello.
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 Hello.